Okay, so here I'm going to go over a quick mobility series. It's going to focus on hips, low back, and upper back. I will do 1 rep. You can do probably somewhere between 5 for some of them, especially the cars, and then maybe into 12 to 15 for the other ones. I'll mention it as I go. All right. So the first one I want you to do is a cat camel. So this is a full body cat camel. So hands right under the shoulder, knees under the hip, and this is just a segmental starting in the pelvis, rolling into the lumbar, into the thoracic, working all the way up into your neck, and then you're going to reverse it. Start extending in your lumbar, working your way into your thoracic, going all the way into your upper thoracic, and into your neck. All right? So that's a full one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a lumbar lock one where you're going to sit back into your lumbar, so it locks your lumbar in flexion, and you're just going to work on flexion and extension of that upper back here. All right, so you really shouldn't see much motion happening at the pelvis. It's all in the upper back. You should feel this. Flexion and extension. Then you're going to come forward onto your forearms more. You're going to get kind of into extended upper back here, okay? But then I only want your lower lumbar region and pelvis to go into posterior and anterior pelvic tilt. So now the motion is just here, nothing happening in the upper back. Next, lie on your side, take a foam roller, take a yoga block. Bottom leg would be straight if I wasn't so cramped. You're going to lay here, pin that upper leg at 90 degrees of hip flexion to that object. Take that other arm and you're going to reach for the ground. In my case, I'm just going to open up without this leg coming up. So reach back as far as you can. Feel that good stretch in that thoracic upper spine. So we're working on a rotation here. Pinning the lumbar and pelvis down by keeping that leg on that object or the foam roller. Okay, so you can do about 12 to 15 per side on this one. All right, so that's your thoracic opener or thoracic windmill, you want to call it. And then we're going to go into hip sideline cars. Now we can do cars in standing. We can do them in quadruped. I'm going to do sideline here, but the same motion is the same no matter what. Got to make sure you block your back so we're not cheating and extending in our back. You're going to come into flexion. You're going to raise up into abduction. Rotate your heel towards the ceiling, which is internal rotation. And then this is where you got to watch your back and make sure the motion's only coming from the hip. Extend back. Come down to adduction and back into flexion. Now you're almost in the position you start, but reverse it. So now I'm going to extend. Same thing. Feel this in your hips, not your back. And you're going to open your hip now. So your knee's going to go up. Foot rotates down. As you go into abduction into external rotation. Come around. And back to where you started. Back flexion, abduction, internal rotation. Rotate into extension, adduction, back into flexion. Back into extension, abduction, external rotation. And then you've completed a rep there. So do about 5 to 6 per hip there in the sideline. Then we're going to go in quadruped. We're going to work on some hip extension. Again, don't want your back to move, so you can put like a block here. All right. If you balance it in the hard direction, like on this, if you move a lot, it's going to fall. So it'd be a lie detector whether or not you're keeping your back still. All right. Bring the leg up, squeeze the butt. Bring it down. Bring it up, squeeze the butt. Don't want to see this. Keep that back still. If I do a good rep here, it's not going to fall. Okay, do about 10 or 12 on each side, working on that hip extension. All right, and the last one that we're going to go over, actually 2 more, is we're going to do some thoracic extension. I like this one with the foam roller. I don't have a foam roller here, or a big exercise ball. Put it out there, and then you would roll out and sink that chest down, and then come up. Roll out, sink that chest down, and come up, and you should feel a great stretch in your lats and a lot of good motion happening in that upper back and the extension there. All right, so that's like a child's pose, and I usually like it with a ball or a foam roller rolling out with it. But again, if you just sink into that and feel that feeling, you're going to be okay. 12, 15 reps with that one. The last one we're going to do are thoracic cars. I like to have something that I can lock my hips in place on right here, so we're not moving our hips at all. So you can sit on a big med ball. I'm going to sit on a yoga block here, okay? Take something you can hug. Don't have to, otherwise hug yourself. Now you're going to come down and you're going to curl all the way into flexion of your thoracic spine, all right? And then you're going to side bend. You're going to rotate. So now I'm in right side bend, right rotation while I'm flexed. I'm going to come up. I'm now in extension of my thoracic spine. Coming down into left side bend, left rotate, all the way around, and now I'm back to where I started. Reverse. Left rotate, left side bend. Extend in that upper back. You should not feel this in your low back. Upper back. Rotate and side bend all the way to the other side and back. And that's 1 rep. Usually 5 to 10 reps on that, and those are called thoracic cars. So that's a quick mobility series that you can do to really help keep your back feeling good and your hips.